Alright, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kodash, double honors to the elders and apostles of great Milson who rule well. Salutation to the Yaki, I'm preaching the truth to the four corners of the earth in sincerity. This is brother Yaki, I'll come to you with another lesson, Lord's will, and be edifying through the Spirit. Right, and as the title reads, Jacob is the beginning, for Jacob is the beginning of the world to come. Right, because we're really dealing with the precept in 2nd Ezra where it says Esau is the end of the world, right? And we see it happening before we eyes right now. We see in how the Lord really and truly exposing Esau and bringing out all his lies via the prophets, right? Via the men of the Lord going out on the streets and preaching the truth. And one by one you see the as the scriptures say, bringing back the house of David, right? We see that before we eyes. Alright, so I just going to do a little video on it. There's straight into it. 2nd Ezra 6 and verse 9. It says, For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. And we know what following after. The kingdom of heaven. Right? But Esau is the end of this world, what we see taking place right now. Because the Lord is going to Firstly, the Lord's going to put them into slavery. Bomb America and gather them up and put them into slavery. Because they're going to hide. They're going to try and hide from the Lord. Right? That's what the scripture says. The Lord will send for many hunters. Right? Matter of fact, let me get that precept. Right, this is the book of Jeremiah chapter 16 and verse 16. And it reads, Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord. And who's these fishers? These fishers is the men of the Lord, fishing for the elect, fishing for the ones who we send out the word to, and they get really in. How you does fish? You does fish. You go out in the sea, you throw your line, and whatever you throw the bait with the hook, and whatever come in, reel in, right? That's how it does be. But we fishing for the elect, and what we giving them for bait right now is the truth. Because the elect going and hear this word and activate. The Lord's chosen people going and hear this word and activate. Immediately. As soon as they hear the word, they want to know more. They want to learn. You understand? Right? Continuing here now, it says, and I will fish them. Right? And then it says, let me read it over. Jeremiah 16:16. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them. I know them hunters? The same men who on the highways preaching, the same men who going to endure to the end, who not going to take the mark of the beast. These men going to be turned into immortals. These men going to be hunters. Because the Lord going to tell them, go and find these men, the so-called white man who want to be a god on earth. Go and find them and dig them out from where they're hiding, because they're going to hide. Right? The Bible mentioned where they're going to hide. They're going to be hiding in bunkers all over the earth. Hide up. Because they know the Lord coming back, but them bunkers not going to help them. Right? They call it doomsday bunkers. It's not going to help them. Right? Where reach? Right? It says, because here we know it's bunkers. It says, and after I will send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill, out of the holes of the rocks. Right? That is bunkers. Right? Continuing here, it says, For my eyes are upon all their ways, they are not hid from my face, neither is their iniquity hid from my eyes. Because the Lord seeing everything they're doing. The Lord see every wicked thing America ever did in the earth. You understand? And now is the time where they're gonna pay for all the sins. They're gonna actually pay. They're gonna get blown into a million pieces. You understand? And the ones them that flee and that hide, the Lord gonna tell the elect to hunt them and bring them and chain them. You understand? Because then they're not gonna want to be brought, so they're gonna be what the scripture says a righteous thing to recompense tribulation unto them that trouble you, meaning that it's gonna be righteous to do them what they do we. Right? They're gonna be righteous to do them, it whip them and put them in chains, and that's what's gonna happen. Right? And I could even read that. I'm gonna bring it out. Right, there's the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, and I'll read from 1. It says, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel." Right? Because why say mercy? Because the chaos and the terror and strike the earth, the Lord only dealing with Israel, he only dealing with Jacob. And right now, Jacob is a very little bit. Because even the Lord people, who's supposed to be Jacob too, they in sin. They're doing wickedness. You understand? They're not following up with the truth. They're not following up with the commandments. So they literally going and die. Right? So we're dealing with the remnant. We're dealing with Jacob. It says, "For I'll have mercy on Jacob, and I will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave unto the house of Jacob. And the people shall take and bring them to their place." It didn't say they shall invite them and ask them. You know? It says it shall take them and bring them. You understand? Why we're gonna take them is because they're gonna be prisoners. They're gonna be subjected unto we. Because you see, a lot of people don't understand what they do. They didn't just fucking put we in slavery, you know. They burn everything down to the ground. They come into Jerusalem and they burn the whole of Jerusalem down to the ground. And then they rebuild it, and the fucking whoever in Jerusalem right now, these rats, they in Jerusalem right now claiming to be we. But Revelation tell we that them is not we. You understand? They are literally imposters. That's what it is. They is imposters. And what will they do with imposters? Right? So all this judgment you read in the Bible, majority of the judgment is for Esau, the so-called white man. You understand? That is judgment on him for what he did. You understand? I'm gonna get a precept on that one time. Right, this book of Amos chapter 1 and verse 11, and it reads, "Thus saith the Lord, for three transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof." For 3 transgressions, the Lord said He's not going to turn away the punishment from them. The punishment for the so-called white man is for the land to get blown into a million pieces, and for the Lord to put them into slavery. And the Lord even further it up and say after 1,000 years of slavery, He's going to gather them up and kill every one of them. So it's never going to have no white man on the earth ever again. But that's after they do slavery first. Because they have to get what we get. Slavery. You understand? So continuing here, it says therefore because he did pursue his brother with the sword. Yeah. Because really and truly Jacob and Esau, if you understand the story with Jacob and Esau, right, they are our brothers. You understand? But they come like the evil brother. Just like Cain and Abel. Right? Esau and Jacob is the reincarnation of Cain and Abel. Cain kill the brother. That is what they do. But Esau pursue his brother. That's what the Bible telling you, right? He pursued his brother with a sword and did cast off all pity. That is because they did cast off all pity, putting us into slavery, bringing us on them ships, and bringing us across here, killing we out. Basically, using our babies to be alligator bait, to make alligator shoes and alligator jackets and them kind of thing. Showing off women off the ship. Real madness. You understand? They had to pay for all that. And the thing about it is, the Lord already said. So when the Lord said, that means that it is done. It's already going to happen. Can't hold it back. Nothing the Lord said ever did not happen. You understand? So continuing here, it says, he cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. The white man never, ever not kept his wrath. The people thinking that we're not in slavery, because we're not in chains right now, right? But we still in slavery. It's just that he's smart. It's like alright. It's like releasing the dog from the kennel and opening him up to the yard. He gonna run around the whole fucking yard like he wild. because the yard is bigger than a kennel, so he feel like he free. That is what the white man do to we. You understand? They give you the yard to run in, thinking that because we don't have no chains on we anymore, we're not in slavery, but we're still in fucking slavery. You understand? According to the Bible, we still in slavery up to this day. So he kept their wrath forever. Basically, when the Lord come, he gonna come and deal with them on a different level. He is the end, literally the end of this world. You understand? With another precept I could bring and I could close off with that. Alright, there's the book of Revelation, chapter 18, and I'll start from 1. It says, "And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory." Right? "And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, is fallen." Because that's what gonna happen. That's another word for America, Babylon the great. Right? And it's become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. That's because after Babylon is fucking taken down, only beasts gonna be dwelling there. No people can dwell there. That land gonna get hit with 200 million nukes. It's not gonna be inhabitable. Right? Right. Warich. Verse 3. It says, "For all nations have drunk of her wine, of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her." Right? Because that's really what take place. All the kings of the earth committed fornication with Babylon. All of them was in agreement to say, boy, we're gonna take down them niggas. Basically, they're gonna take down the 12 tribes of Israel. And they did it. They really take we down. Right? They erased history, and they they put us into slavery, did all sorts of wickedness to we and the women. You understand? They do all what they want. They rape, rob, murder. You understand? And after they did all this, they think that what the Bible say, they think that there's not a recompense. There is a recompense, and right now we're living in it. We're living in the last, in the dregs coming up for their punishment. You understand? And I will even bring that precept, and that will be the last precept. Right? There will be a recompense. Right? I'm gonna continue a little bit here. Verse 4, it says, "I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues." Right? "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh had remembered her iniquities." Here what it say here now, verse 6, it says, "Reward her even as she rewarded you," which is slavery, "and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she had filled, fill to her double." Basically, the Lord is saying to do double unto what he did unto us. Right? Because here we say in verse 7, it says, "How much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously." Because that's what they did. They glorified themselves and lived deliciously. They living like gods. The white men, the Arabs, all of them, they split up the earth. They fucking living nice because they put the children of Israel into slavery. Because we were really the gods. And we are still the gods, because the Lord going to return our glory unto us. Right? Continuing, it said, right, it says, "How much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously," because they living deliciously, right? It says, "So much torment and sorrow give her." This is what the Lord saying. It says, "For she had in her heart, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow." This is what Babylon's saying. This is what the so-called white man saying. They will never see sorrow. They will always be living as gods. Because they had the robots, they had the laser. They put a big fucking laser in the sky to say when the Lord returns, they're going to shoot down them chariots. That's how much confidence they have in themselves. Because the Lord gave them that power. And the Lord love it. Because the Bible even say the Lord is a man of war. The Lord love war. The Lord gave Esau the technology to fucking create robots. that on, cause we even see the robots, you know, we see the fucking Tesla shit that we see and all them robots walking around fucking laughing and thing. See, that is just heights. You understand? When you understand the technology that they have technology to surpass fucking Iron Man. All them technology they have way past that, and the Lord is allowing them to have it because He wants a little fight when He return with them angels. You understand? The Bible tell you when the Lord return, they're gonna fight. They're still gonna try to fight, and they'll be frightened. You understand? They're gonna be afraid of it, but they're gonna fight. Matter of fact, let me get that precept. Yeah, this is 2nd Ezra 13, and I'll read from verse 6. And it says, "But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, and flew upon it." Right? Now listen to this. We never in history see a mountain fly. Right? So when the Bible said mountain, it was talking about a chariot, because this is talking about Yahushai. So when it says he had given himself a great mountain and flew upon it, right? Verse 7, it says, "But I would have seen the region or the place where unto the hill was graven," meaning that he couldn't see. He could have seen the chariot, you know, right? But he couldn't see the end of the chariot. The chariot was so big, he didn't see the end of it, right? It says, "And I could not," right? Verse 8, it says, "And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him was so afraid." Listen to what it's saying here. Everybody who was gathered to subdue him, because they see Yahushua coming, and they were ready. You understand? They had their tankers, everything ready, right? It said they were so afraid, and yet does fight, meaning that they still try. They still try to run in. You understand? But they're gonna lose, because the scriptures say that the Lord destroy everything. He take every crown from everybody, off of everybody's head. That is why it say He return with crowns. Right? When He return, He had crowns up on His head. Right? Let me see. Let me get one more precept here and I'll close with that. Just bear with me here. Alright. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 11. It says, "Thy pomp is brought down to the grave." Right? When it said the pomp, it talk going back to the pride, right? Because the so-called white man is very proud. The most proud. The scripture call him the most proud, right? It says, "Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy voice." It says, "The worm is spread under thee." People will read that verse and like, the worm is spread under thee. The worm is spread under thee. Worms represent decaying. Stuff decaying, right? Everything that is spoiled and thing is turned into worms, right? Go back to the earth. So worms represent decay. It says the worm is spread under thee, meaning that Babylon been decaying. People been understanding who is the so-called white man is. The devil that the Bible speaks about. They know that they are the wicked ones. That is why right now in prophecy we see nations forming against them. You understand? And the Bible clearly tell you who that nation's gonna form against them. So you know it is what happening right now is exactly what the Bible say. So you know exactly who it was talking about all along. And for somebody in this time, this day and age in 2025, that still believing in Christianity and Islam and not understanding what really taking place, that the Bible is literally unfolding before our eyes right now, they lost. You understand? They lost, and again, it's really the Lord had to reveal these things unto you. You understand? The Lord have to reveal these things for you to believe these things in the first place. Right? So, understanding that is when you understand fully that, yeah, the Lord revealed these things to me, and it's for a reason. And when I get the understanding now, I ask and I ask Him to keep me. As the way it says in Psalms, I believe it's Psalms 50, right? Where it says, for the Lord is basically saying to keep me. You understand? Because you want the Lord to keep you, you want him to make you endure to the end. Right? So Lord's will in this lesson that I find through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. I want to say Kala Layamla, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Kakodash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us this truth. Salutation to the Akim preaching this truth to the four corners of the earth in sincerity. Shalom, shalom, shalom.